Wondering whether these 5 cards at the end have got gaps and they're sort of pulling in cards that we've already used before to do double duty. What that signifies whether there are some mysterious 5 hidden cards somewhere inside secret societies or something.
Maybe. I honestly wish I knew, and I could leak it out to you guys. But as I said, this stuff isn't talked about or well known, and that's why I'm here doing this talk, and I want more people to know and publishing on YouTube, so that rather than tacking on this other system of numerology.
And then you're going to get the new world order after you.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know.
Because 5 is the number of conflict in the experience of man. On Earth, the Emperor represents authority, which we cannot escape. Death we cannot escape. Fortune is the arbitrariness of life, which we cannot escape. And it's also representative of the air. While the 2 first, they're the full magus, is the tree of life has pentacles at the bottom, air.
Yeah.
Tifereth is surrounded by the cups. And the wands is the top 3. That's that.
Just goes with the
sequence. Yeah. Again, I'm almost as new to this as you guys. Again, it's not well known. I'm not part of any order. I just want to brainstorm and see what happens.
Well, you wouldn't say if you would you?
No, you could, but you'd have to kill us.
And also there are many illustrations on the internet of the Tree of Life with very quite dense mapping, but it might help if people look at that.
Okay. Next time I'll print it off in full colour at the back. Apologise to people.
Or what you can do as well is just simply when you send me this for upload, just send me there's so many pictures, and then you can edit it and add it, and I'll upload it. It's no problem.
Yeah, I mean 5 as conflict was at least in the 12th tower, the Emperor is all about action. Because it's the fire card, it's Aries, and action. Then that's how you come death. You have death. Action. You have change essentially. Death is the active part of water. Is water's function to dissolve stuff and change stuff in that sense chemically. So you have that destructive element in it. And fortune is kind of like sort of the randomness that can happen through that. So Ben, you're right.
I'm thinking of E equals MC squared. I think the Emperor is kind of, when the focus is on the energy side, that there is force going into matter, setting motion. But then death is kind of, it's almost like the transition. Energy is transforming into motion.
Yeah.
So death is kind of representing that change with one form into another. And fortune is kind of more of a receptive aspect when the thing is being moved. And it's kind of, I don't know what's going on, I'm all confused. But yeah, the energy is coming in and it's eliciting change. In that sense. So yeah.
Nice. Cool. Anyone else? Feel free to speak up. People haven't spoken yet. Okay. Okay. So now we're on to the 6s. In the 6s, so now that we have the beginnings of motion, the 5, 6 is sort of where you kind of gain momentum and you're moving in a sort of what's the word? You reach top speed and you're in a balanced state in a way. So in the Qabalistic system, 6 is the midpoint of the whole thing. I know that in the other system, 5 is. So 6 represents balance. It's also when you have matter and you introduce energy into it, that's when you have the beginnings of life. So 6 is where life sort of happens in its purest form. That's why you have the princes or the kings attributed it, which is the sun. So you had the parents in the 2s and the 3s. So I haven't gone through that. You have the parents in the 2s and the 3s. The masculine and the feminine, and now you have the product, which is at the 6th, the beginning of life.
I'll ask you a question. Sorry.
Yeah.
how does the Hierophant identifies with princes and kings? Because I don't see it. I mean, maybe with the king, maybe, but not with the princes.
Oh, the princes and the kings are the same, and they screw up the.
I was thinking pages.
So knights are the father. Oh, pages is princesses.
Oh right, okay. Well,
Pages
see,
and
that's my
princesses.
knowledge of.
Yeah. The reason why is because so the father and the mother are sort of yin and yang, the pure essences of each gender, whilst the son is the first union of the two in one being. So it's a lot more balanced, whilst the others were the ones before were polar extremes. So that's why you have something a bit more solid and fixed, like the Hierophant, which is Taurus, which is the fixed sign of Earth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, so what do you guys think of the sixes?
Tiferet is
Yes.
correlated to the heart chakra.
Yes.
Okay,
I do.
and the suit of cups. So we have the emotionality of the cups.
And it's also attributed to the sun as a planet, because it is the point of balance where the sun holds like a solar system together, where the planets revolve around it. So it's a center point in that way. I mean, how would you think the Hierophant? Oh, I forgot about the art. So the art card is Temperance.
Oh, it's temperance.
I was wondering, yes, but yeah,
Sorry about that.
thanks.
Please speak up. Please speak up when, because I'm so used to the TOF system, I've forgotten all the Rider-Waite names. So yeah, art is Temperance. So if you see a Hierophant and Temperance, how would those two relate to one another?
They're both about balance, aren't they?
Yeah, although the Hierophant it balances in a very different light. We see Temperance is about not so much balance so much as fusion, because we said before the sixes is the it's the union. It's 2 times 3. The union between the mother and father. So again, Temperance is all about the mixing of the masculine and the feminine. So you can see. I didn't think about it before. Yeah, but then how would the Hanged Man factor into this?
I don't know, as I'm looking at the sixes, I know I shouldn't because you're talking about the six, but I'm looking at the last 4 columns and it's like, what? Because it's not come to fruition yet, it's still in the making.
Still in the making, yeah. It's, I guess it's being fertilized in a way, or in the womb. Ben?
Going to relate to something I was mentioning earlier, to what degree is this form of the Hanged Man the same as the one that we see in 40? Or is there something unusual or different about this form?
Wish I knew.
Because
maybe we could discover it today. Maybe we can discover it today. Again, as far as I know, only one author has depicted this system in this way. I wish more was spoken about it, but that's why we're here today, to uncover some secrets.
There is actually
So I
no
suppose
known.
the question is, Henry, can I multiply the chariot by the moon and get a tower and other operations of that nature?
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
So sorry, say that again?
Well, can I add things and subtract them and multiply them to get to move around the space? Does that have any meaning?
Yeah.
Other than that which I ascribe to it.
Well, the thing, it never occurred to me, but it seems to work. I thought the 2 and 3 it becomes a 6. So you were saying about the chariot, sorry?
Multiply, wait, what was your
Yeah, 8
example?
times 10 times.
8 times, 10 times.
Well, 8. Can I do 8 times 5 times 20 is 800? Can I just mess
8
around
times,
like that?
okay, let's give it a try. So we have the chariot, emperor, and 10, and hermit becoming the tower.
This is how subdividing.
Yeah, let's see how that makes. Chariot, so you have movement in the chariot, and the emperor kind of propelling it in a way. And then I have the hermit as illumination, and then you have the explosion in the tower. That actually works! Wow, they made a new discovery here, guys.
The light of the hermit ends up taking you into the
So revelation
of the tower.
Of the tower, yeah, that's.
Are we still on Tippereth or
Well, we've sort of gone off on a tangent now that we're exploring new ideas.
Well, my response to this role of Tippereth is that the hangman is about sacrifice, making something holy. Our temperance is balancing to make something beautiful. And the Hierophant is about sacredness and holiness.
It's interesting you mentioned sacrifice, because hangman, it's a sacrifice in order to create something new. It's when you combine two things, those things are destroyed, and you get the new thing.
But also sacrifice really is the theological.
Facci,
which means
Make sacred.
Make sacred. So yeah, it's another
You also have
process
to
of change.
sacrifice something, whatever you want.
Yeah,
You always have to give up something.
you sacrifice petrol to make your car move. I mean, it's literally part of what the card means. You know, it's that kind of sacrifice.
Well,
So-
yeah. So the two connotations of it, one is to give away, and the other to make sacred. Sort of meet that when we give something away, we're giving it explicitly to God.
What is made sacred in that act?
The act.
The act is like
So it's like, you know, by analogy, people say you pray for this or that, and you sacrifice for this or that as well.
Look at the Six of Pentacles, that illustrates that concept.
Yeah.
Giving and love.
But the true act of sacrifice is simply just by giving you receive something even better.
Not necessarily better, but different.
Well, you give what God wants you to get. Sorry, you get what God wants you to get.
What
You
you-
sacrifice.
yeah.
You might.
What you need as opposed to what you want.
Can't have both.
Then you want to say?
I'm getting an idea of like a meniscus layer with a lot of the cards in the middle on that second row. Almost the idea that there is a division, but the division can be viewed from two perspectives, above and below. So, and relating to some of the cards on lower that have been reused, I could always see it being the same thing, but from below, for instance. Trying to think of a way of explaining that. Like with the hangman, we're talking about a sacrifice.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's like something, it is a transition between layers, then if one would be like looking at the transition from above, one would be from below. Right with this people, I don't know. Just trying to make sense of this kind of...
Well, from the different perspective, I would say from the 40, hangman would be the sacrifice of God to make manifestation happen.
Okay.
And then hangman would be us making a sacrifice to manage as divine beings ourselves, or to manifest something else. It's sort of from a lower perspective, man.
Yeah.
I mean, now that you mentioned it, it's cool. I don't know. It's awesome.
Yeah, because some of the cards are repeated, and what is the reason for the repetition?
Because you have 3 by 9, that grid,
Okay.
and you only have 22 cards or 22 letters. So
Why
to
couldn't
fill
the
up.
minors be used?
The minors are already in from the 1 to 9. You see, they're sort of already in there.
Yeah, but
Because if you look at the grid that I've made, it's sort of like a zoomed
you've got
out.
78 cards in a pack,
Yeah.
but you're just talking numbers 1 to 9, basically.
Well, the 10s are also the 1s. Kind of.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. So I mean, if you look at the grid that I made, it's sort of like a zoomed out perspective of the tarot as a whole, because the Kabbalah is like the skeleton upon which the tarot was sort of hung, and it sort of holds everything together. So it gives you sort of a wider view. You have to kind of look at it that way. Now we're sort of zooming in and picking it up.
Sorry, I'm being left brain today for some reason.
No, that's good.
I'm just thinking, why not, use the but obviously there is a system, so.
No, that's good to question it. But yeah, it's basically because